Hey folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Podcast. It's a show where each week we're going to be sitting down with Vincent Daly to get his thoughts on the latest movies he's been watching, both older films and new releases. And don't worry, there's no spoilers. Vince will give a brief review of the movie, share some thoughts, and of course, then rate the film. The daily ratings are always fair, honest, and most importantly, they're consistent. On today's show, Vince will be rating and reviewing. We are jumping back to Zootopia in 2016, and that's directed by Byron Howard, Rich Moore, and co-directed by Jared Bush. And then we are hopping into the theaters for Zootopia 2, and that's once again directed by Jared Bush and Byron Howard. So we've got these two animated features here for you folks. Let's get Vincent Daly in the room, see what he has to say, hear what he has to say about these movies. Stay tuned and enjoy the show. Mr. Vincent Daly, how are we doing across the table, my friend?
Thomas, how's it going?
It's going okay for me. How did the Zootopias treat you?
How'd they treat you?
You know, they treated me surprisingly okay.
Yeah.
For how much of an animated kids movie guy I have not become and grew out of, I had an okay time. I don't know, right? I watched both these films, as you well know.
Yeah.
We saw Zootopia 2 together.
And we saw Zootopia 2
We saw the beginning a couple times.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. And there's a story behind that. But surprisingly acceptable, I would say, for me.
Okay.
I was checked in, at least. I wasn't checked out of the films.
Right.
So there's something to be said about that.
I'd like to nail down a criteria of, like, where do the kids' movies fall off for you? You know,
what year?
Yeah. Maybe
2004. I mean,
squeezing in Monsters, Inc.
I just was Monsters Inc. gets in there. Monsters Inc. was like 2001 or something like that, 2002. But I was looking at it because The Incredibles came out, I think in 2004.
Okay.
And I was out by then.
He was out.
I was out when The Incredibles came out. It's like I just didn't feel like, I don't know. I just, for some reason, I thought that came out in like 2009 or something. So anyway, I don't know. It's just been...
It's Brad Bird, too. We got to do The Incredibles at some point.
I know.
They'll
Incredibles 3
is...
I think it's in the works.
Yeah.
But, I was surprised how many Pixar films that I just haven't been on board for. And it's been that long. Although I did dip my toe back in for WALL-E.
Okay, yeah, right.
I think that's it. And then since doing the podcast with you, watch a couple here or there. But,
Jungle Book live action?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but doesn't count. That's not Pixar proper. But anyway, what was your relationship with Zootopia? Because the first one was rated already on the site.
Yeah, I checked out the first one pretty much right on release. Just hearing a lot of hype for
2016-ish?
Yeah, or maybe a little bit after once it hit like streaming in some capacity. I definitely didn't go in theaters, to watch Zootopia 1.
Like we do now.
Right. Now that we're forced to be with the kids and the Karens and the moms. But when it comes to Zootopia, I was just slightly interested in it because it had such a good pitch. The initial teaser trailer, which I'll mention in our first review here, was like a really strong teaser trailer, and kind of felt like a pitch that was made internally and made it to the public. And I thought it was just really strong and wanted to check it out. And then the film itself kind of has lived on as, in so many spheres, kid-friendly. Like I told you, furries online really love this one. There's kind of an intellectual sphere that takes a look at Zootopia and sees it in a higher caliber among other kind of kids movies.
It's got some sauce for the adults, which is always what Pixar is usually really good for.
Yes.
Or at least what they're known for.
Yeah.
There's a big case for this that somewhere after this is when it really drops off.
Yeah.
Pixar and the money that they were able to make and everything like that.
And it's important. Zootopia is Disney Animation Studios, so the sister company to Pixar. I mean, definitely,
You're
cannibalizing each other's markets as far as kids' movies go.
That's right. I always saw this at Pixar, but you're totally right.
Yep.
That's right. Wow.
So I would say this and maybe Inside Out are the two juggernauts of the 2010s. Inside Out representing Pixar.
And that was 15, I think, right? 15 or 16.
Yeah. So.
Okay, yeah, you're right, and I think after that is when it slowly started to womp womp.
Yeah,
I mean, think about what that Wish movie came out.
Oh my god,
that was Disney Animation, correct?
yeah, that was Disney, and it's such a fail. I mean, I ranted about it, just like
supposed to come out for like the 100-year anniversary,
and it was supposed to tie in like a whole universe behind the scenes together.
I mean,
like,
it's not good. Not good.
And they threw it all out. They threw it all out. So.
And by the way, I think that Zootopia 2 was. Because we had all the Bobs at Disney, right? So we had Bob Iger at Disney. He leaves, and then Bob, somebody else, not Bob Chapek. Is it Bob Chapek steps in at Disney?
I don't know.
Anyway, whatever Bob came in, 9 months he lasted. They got rid of him. They brought back Bob Iger, and then he kind of had this new aura about him and was like more upfront, even in like the investor speeches and things like that, and in interviews. He was like, what are we doing? We lost our way, yada, yada, forgetting that he was only gone for 9 months.
Yeah.
But that's when he was like, let's give people what they actually like. And then all of a sudden, as soon as he came back, we got Zootopia 2, we got Toy Story 5, and we got more Frozens announced.
Yeah, the rise of the sequels coming back.
And I think this is the first tranche of that, of the Iger return.
Sure.
I mean, it had a record-breaking weekend.
Right. I mean, almost we could say whatever we want about Zootopia 2. I mean, it was a huge box office success.
Crazy success.
Crazy. Yeah. And I think some of that is right place, right time. The Thanksgiving weekend is just like such good real estate.
It is.
For almost whatever movie. If it's family-friendly enough, the grandparents can take the kids. The whole family can go as a whole.
But a movie like this is going to get a good weekend movie.
Yeah.
I mean, a good, whether it's Memorial Day or the Labor Day week, whatever.
Yeah,
this was going to get some type of prime spot.
Yeah.
What's shocking, too, is how Wicked still did really well. I mean, people were going to the movies.
Yeah.
Which is good to see. Anyway, just like us. Twice.
Yeah, you want to just get that out of the way? I don't really have it as part of the review.
It's an experience I never had before at a theater. So Vin and I go in. We got the 3D version.
Yeah.
Oh, which I need to say.
Yeah.
Talk about them getting skimpy on things. Those 3D glasses are getting skinnier and skinnier.
They're worried about the eco impact.
Well, it's just, my peripherals are seeing normal, and then, the 3D glasses only cover up so much. I feel bad for people that actually have glasses. I was like, these things are tiny.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go see the 3D whatever, and the trailers, as the trailers were playing, they went black, so the sound was still on.
Yep.
But the picture just stopped a couple times, and Vin and I were just like, "Oh, you were saying
here?
not the crowd to be doing
you
this
have
with."
An angry crowd of moms.
So then we start the movie. It happened again in the movie.
Yep.
And then it kind of happened again. The lights dim, and everybody's just like, "What's going on?" Whatever. And then the one manager stepped in, and she goes, "Sorry, everybody. The bulb is out in the projector. We need to replace the bulb. It's going to take 10 or 15 minutes." She goes, you can either wait, and then we're going to start the movie back up, or if you want to go, you'll get a voucher, and you can whatever. And even if you decide to stay, you get a voucher anyway.
Yep.
So then there was an argument broke out in the theater, kind of. An argument broke out because half the parents were just like, can you not start it over? Can you just start where we left off?
Which is where I was at.
And the woman was just like, yeah, no, we can do that. It's time-stamped. And then the one woman in the back was just like, start it over. And then Vin was sweating bullets next to me.
I was like, no.
Wanting to speak up.
Oh, my God. And truthfully, we were not that far in the movie, but I
should have just stuck it out.
Wanted to get it done. We should have just
right, but then we didn't because then we prolonged it because we had to go back the next day and
see the trailers again.
And the timing worked out too, where once again we went to the 3D showing.
Yep.
And it was fine, but we did get the free vouchers, or the vouchers for a free movie. What is your thing? I have not seen a 3D movie in years and years and years.
Oh.
Long, like way.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can't even tell you how long it's been. It's probably, oh, boy. I mean, when it became cool again, like when 3D made another push.
I mean, you're talking about like mid 2010s.
Yeah, after what was that? What was like the animated movie that we covered? Lore, Angelina Jolie, Goldbody, Beowulf.
Oh, Beowulf.
So
okay.
we're
talking pre-2010s.
Well, Beowulf had a big real 3D push.
Right.
And then after that, I think I saw a couple movies after that, and that's it. I kind of swore it off.
Yeah.
Now, just like anything, you sit there with the glasses on, and you do get used to it. You sink into it, and it does have some perks. I will say, like it's some for clarity or whatever. But overall, it's
a throwaway.
It's a worse product.
It's an absolute gimmick.
It darkens. I like a bright screen, and they automatically just darken the screen.
Yes,
because it's they're half sunglasses.
And whether it comes into like the visual fidelity of like the blurring effect or the actual 3D effect to it. So, I mean, I will say. For instance, I saw Wicked 2 in 3D.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That must have been magical.
I mean, there's a lot of them I just choose because the time slot works and I need to get the movie done.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah. I will say the upside to 3D nowadays, meaning like post-2020 3D, is that the sets, even on a live-action film, Wicked is a perfect example, are so composited and so CGI heavy to begin with that the post-editing that happens to enable the 3D or them to kind of highlight specific things to come through in the edit, they're more integrated than ever, where previously you go back 15 years to when you're talking about. A big one stands out to me, like Beowulf was one of the Harry Potters, I think, like Order of the Phoenix or whatnot.
Okay.
They had to do so much intensive work to make that 3D, you have the 3D,
even worth
big 3D
it. What do
money
we make
shots.
3D? Right.
We talked about like, all right, well, that one's clearly made for 3D.
Yes.
Now, almost any scene can be 3D as far as the integration
Well,
goes.
because, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, what I was picking up with this film, again, I have not watched a lot of them, but essentially what you're doing is blurring out the background for the most part, and then it just brings out your main characters more. I mean, this is almost
like a
what
keyframe or something like
right.
that.
This is almost like what is it? Zack Snyder's main thing. He blurs out everything. Right.
The depth of field.
Like maybe his movies are going to be better in 3D.
Maybe
because
I
it's
watched
what he's doing.
Both. Wow, man, what is
Rebel
that movie?
Moons?
Thank you. Yeah, maybe I watched both Rebel Moons as a 3D cut and didn't realize it. Maybe that was in distribution.
You got to get that old TV back.
Give
it a go.
You will never let me live down that TV.
All right, so Zootopia. Any notes? You said.
I don't know. Quickie trailer notes you want to do?
Yeah, please. Yeah, I'm curious what you got
This
there.
SpongeBob movie looks like garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I mean, like that Ice Spice song, just absolutely terrible. I would say new Super Mario Brothers movie looks kind of good.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I think us just like fully in the Mushroom Kingdom. It's what I always say with video games. Like, don't put me in the real world.
Yeah.
Put me in the fantasy world.
It's a big animated year next year.
Yeah.
We got some
very
heavy hitters.
Big,
yeah.
Very big. When is Toy Story 5 slated
That
for?
got main summer slot.
Oh, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Moana live action. Why the hell are we doing this?
It looks so CGI. They might as well just
seriously.
It just looks animated.
I have a little bit of beef of them replacing the main girl as well.
You wanted the voice actress?
Yes, because she's a Hawaiian descendant and she sings great, and it's not like she's like an ancient woman. You know what I mean?
I thought it was I thought they did get the girl.
No, different girl, and but conflictingly. The Rock is coming
in it.
back.
Yes.
For, God knows what that character's name is going to my head. It's Hawaiian God #1. But yeah, that's certainly the internet's sentiment on Moana live action is completely on the same page. Everyone's just like, this is way too
garbage.
soon. This is garbage.
Yes.
Continuing all the criticisms of these live action Disneys.
And it's probably going to make a bunch of money.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, I was looking at Disney animation, like historic box offices where like Zootopia was positioned.
And this is Disney. This is not Pixar.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And that more notably because Moana's a Disney princess, so that's an easy way to kind of like mark it in your head.
Okay. Yeah.
When it comes to like Moana 2 is like the third ranking all-time box office for Disney animations.
It did surprisingly really, really well.
Yeah,
I know.
All right,
you might as well just keep it going.
Yeah, exactly.
This was a bad idea. If anything, this should go straight to streaming.
Yeah.
Like they were thinking about doing for Moana too.
Yeah, for real. Hoppers is our next Pixar movie.
Big Pixar push.
I think it looks kind of good.
I think
I think it's got some Pixar magic to it.
I think there's something going on where they know it.
Yeah.
Because the way they're marketing this, even to me a little bit,
Yeah.
I think they're trying to make a statement. I really do. Again, I think because this is kind of the first year we're just getting into with that Iger return, and they're just like, okay, we made some mistakes here.
Yep.
Because it's a hard, as they say, this is like a battleship to turn. So it's very slow. It takes 10 miles to turn that ship around.
Oh, especially with animated projects.
And I'll tell you, I just think Pixar knows that they have something.
Yeah.
So we might see some good stuff. Not to mention, we've got Toy Story 5.
Yes.
Right? So there's 2 Pixar films.
Yep. You have basically the best of both worlds, a new IP and then, dig it up out of the grave IP.
And then over on Universal side, we have the Super Mario.
Yep.
Because that's Universal. And we...
Is Shrek 5 slated? Ooh. That's DreamWorks.
I don't think that is in the 26 slate.
Okay.
But boy,
Yeah.
maybe.
That's a serious competition.
Another Universal thing. I do think we might get another Minions movie or something like that next year.
That would make sense.
We'll talk about that in January.
yeah, for real.
Anyway, anything else in your notes before we get
Avatar 3, I mean, who cares at this point? I mean,
People do, by the way.
I bet. I'm saying who cares. I just I was talking to you about this in the parking lot of just like that trailer is so ridiculous because it's just like short of them saying like, I'm the lava avatar, I'm the lava Navi, I'm the evil one. It's just like, man, this is so like, oh my god,
I gotta say, it kind of looks boring.
Yeah.
Like even the conclusion of the trailer isn't a big thing going on. It's literally it's kind of just 2 people talking back and forth, and them on the pterodactyl things, which we've seen. That's a dime a dozen in every one of these films.
Yeah, for real.
So they really, I don't know. I was kind of thought the trailer was more than lackluster, but like I said, people are excited.
I don't know what Cameron's plans are. Obviously, in the news show, you talked about the bait and switch he pulled for the Hiroshima project. Talk about a lesson of just like, okay, I guess I'll never listen to you again, James Cameron. I believe the original plan for Avatar was a 5-movie stretch.
I thought it was 6.
Oh God!
No, and I don't know, but I thought when the first one came out, I thought he said 6 was my understanding.
Or at least in the second one, this revitalization, like he clarified the project. I don't know where that talk is now. I see
because nothing is filmed right now. Correct?
Yes, but in relation to like how the trailer feels anticlimactic, I wouldn't be surprised if he does the part 1, part 2 for Fire of Ash and squeezes it a little bit more.
No, because we haven't had anything take place in the air quite yet. The first one was a little bit, but that was land.
Yep.
Right? So I think, now we have land, we have water,
fire.
We have fire, and then we have air, I believe he does one still.
I think you're confusing Avatar the cartoon, the Nickelodeon cartoon, and Avatar, the James Cameron project.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Or maybe he's aping that, he's grabbing that.
I can't solve the Cameron puzzle. He can't even solve it for himself.
And I don't want to. And I'm telling everyone, don't try to solve it.
Okay, so with that... Oh, that's not Christmas release. That's right. That's the weekend before.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the box office is going to have a very good ending. This November, this December, they might actually hit numbers that they were looking for after a bit of a lackluster year.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are, Vin. Zootopia 2016. This is your first time rewatching it in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Since back then.
Yeah, I never watched it twice. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of got it.
We have the 3-director whole thing, so mainly directed by Byron Howard, Rich Moore. It's co-directed Jared Bush. Jared Bush then takes over and is the main director for Zootopia 2. Jared Bush was also on the writing credits on the first one, and so was 50,000 other people. And then on Zootopia 2, Jared Bush is the only one who has a writing credit.
Yeah.
So he's very integral into the Zootopia, even though he's got that co-director label for this film.
Yeah, and these are really their babies, especially Jared's, just in the sense that he is on the press tour for 2.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit more leading the helm, and the successful project in between for both of our main directors is Encanto, which came out in 2017. I've never seen it, but definitely beloved.
It is liked.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So rated PG, hour and 48 minutes, which is great. Let's get into it. Zootopia, get us there.
Well, folks, whenever we talk about big kids movies like this, I'm personally interested in the big business behind the scenes and creating it, even if, that really may not make a difference if you check it out or not. But that's personally where I find interest in critically looking at these and almost like we said, like turning the battleship, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
These are big moves that these studios make, and I kind of become morbidly curious of like which ones are the good ones, which ones are the bad ones. When it comes to animation studios, though, Disney Animations has perpetually been living in the shadow of their sister company, Pixar. Pixar.
It's Pixar for now on.
You know Pixar. World famous animation studio Pixar. Especially in like recent years, like we just commented on. I mean, the two have been cannibalizing each other. I mean, I guess there's no limit of how many kids movies there can be in a year. I guess next year we'll test that.
For sure, yeah.
Both have also been in a similar track record in the last 5 years of just digging up old IPs to make successful, sequels. But if there was ever a time that we did see a swap in those rankings, Disney Animation kind of outliving the shadow of Pixar, it was definitely for the 2013 release of Frozen, which still remains top 2 of the box office when it comes to Disney Animations, and this release in 2016 for Zootopia. The road to box office success is really often paved with cute talking animals, and Zootopia really took that to heart in crafting its world. I have to say, though, I actually have always loved the first teaser trailer, like we talked about just a second ago, Tom, that we got for this.
Yeah.
Check it out. I actually was reminded of it just from like the autoplay on Amazon.
Okay, because I've got nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a white background with Bateman voicing the fox, Nick Wilde, and he's almost like just like talking very directly about like how it would feel like they would pitch this internally. They're talking about Zootopia is a land, humans never existed, every animal is anthropomorphic. Okay. And I just really liked it. It's where I was interested with it. I was reminded how much I enjoyed it as well when I just caught it by chance on the autoplay. Check it out on YouTube sometime. I feel like the trailer perfectly describes why this world of animals works, and I think it's great because it connects the dots on how this project might have started with just almost even a cynical box office success in mind, in its sights, but how it leaped off the page to tell an inspired story with working with the animals and how this idea of a city around an animal kingdom, could have some meat on the bones. Zootopia is the miraculous city where all animals are able to live side by side with each other, even if that creates problems with them coexisting. The story itself is structured as a kind of a cops and robbers mystery in the big city, with a new team on the scene to crack the case. The animal kingdom was once a world separated by vicious predators and meek prey. These roles, they are ingrained into the true nature of every creature still. That is until the city of Zootopia was created, a place where any animal can be anything they set their mind to, without fear of being eaten by the next run on the food chain. Judy Hopps is a tiny farm-raised bunny looking to become a city cop in the big city, fully aware of the odds she's up against, and she comes across a hustler fox named Nick Wilde, who might not be looking to eat his natural prey, but is more than happy to scuff up Judy's idealistic dreams. The two uncover a scheme that has been turning animals back into their savage nature and attacking each other, which threatens to unravel the peace that allows the city to survive. Tom, I would say, other than a really horrible Shakira song, I still think this was like a really solid movie. And I mean that. I mean, it's got to be one of like the worst licensed songs ever made for a movie.
It didn't help the movie at all. It was like someone doing the Bond song, the Bond theme, and it's lackluster. But you know what I mean? It wasn't an Adele Skyfall where it helps sell the movie.
Yeah. If only Adele did.
So, that's what I said in the beginning. I was happily surprised how much even I could get into it. I wasn't walking away thinking like I have to watch this again, that this super excites me. Mm-hmm. Or just like, yeah, that was awesome. I have had that before. I had that with maybe the Pinocchio.
Sure.
We even walked out. I was surprisingly pleased with Puss in Boots.
Yeah, that's right.
The Last Wish. Mm-hmm. And this was kind of right there. Again, I didn't love it, but it had enough. It had enough sauce for the adults. That's what I kept on going back in my head.
Yes.
And that goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like if there's one mark of success with kids' movies that we both agree on is that it's got to work for adults as well as the kids. You know what I mean? Or at least that's like the mark of something great.
And you can feel the care and consideration that was put into it. It feels like a lot of people love this and put a lot of time and effort into this, which probably you weren't feeling much from Wish.
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah, no way.
And it's just something like eating your grandmother's food. You don't know why it tastes better, but something about the love in the food does come out in a certain way.
Yeah. I think that's in honestly both of these movies, the sequel as well, that so much is jam-packed into every scene, like little details, little flourishes, animation-wise, comedically,
I think it's paced well,
over.
too.
Yeah.
I think the first one uniquely, too. I think it just helps, too, because whatever, she's a cop and there's always chase and there's cat and mouse stuff going on. It does just help with pace and keeping the story moving and not enough. And there's not a lot of downtime in the films.
Yeah.
Which really help because that's what, let's just, come on, just keep it going. It's a kid's film.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's where it kind of works for me as well. I think it worked, for me at least, where I'm returning to this, it works on two levels. One, exactly what you're saying. It got a fun plot. Us staying busy with this cops and robbers action. Both movies this week have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun with just like the concept of just like an animal city and how that, can create little inventive action sequences and funny action sequences as well. And at least for this one, I think secondly as well, a major area that this works with is that it has some depth in its ideas and its themes shown in the story, even if that's, or whether or not that's permeating to a child audience or not. But this buddy cop formula seems like a no-brainer, especially, since, other duo movies in the animation space are examples of what I would consider sometimes some of the best. Emperor's New Groove and Monsters, Inc. come to mind of just like a powerful duo is kind of all you need.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
And
then they go with the buddy cop formula.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
like
it's
a literal
pretty good.
Yeah. So it's basically just animated Rush Hour,
Yeah, but the animated duo can go a very long way.
Yeah. And I think that's just like such a clear recipe for success, and to have fun with in this world of a city full of animals. But having these characters be actual cops makes just endless opportunities for little beats of action, little comedic spoofs on the real world that's tied together. We watched a bit, more than a bit of the sequel before I got to the rewatch for this, which I already kind of went into. But I was expecting this first one to, if anything, be a bit sluggish, but still, there's really not a lot of fluff on this. You get right into Judy becoming cop. She's in the city, and guess what? We're off to the races.
Right. You need that forced. Okay, we need these two to find each other, to learn about each other, to get them to form chemistry, and then can finish the story. But it is. I mean, it's fast. It really does work.
Yeah. So I would say that's like a huge advantage. And I don't know what proportion is it related to the action of this type of story structure or just the skill craft of 3 directors on the project and trying to get the biggest hit of their career. But there's really some great action to this, some really great energy and pacing to the movie, which again I feel like if anything compared to the new one, I was expecting to come back to this and I was like, oh, I thought it was going to be a little bit more boring, but I was still very much engaged.
Yeah.
So. But honestly, there is a lot of depth in this concept, and for once in recent history, folks, does not come off as a big eye roll or feeling like a forced message. Since the arc of nearly all of our characters is challenging how we see one another, it's pretty clear how the themings of prejudice and at least stereotypes in a city environment is at play in this story. I think if we got this from the Disney of the last 5 years, they would have handled this just way too in your face.
Been nauseating.
And, there's almost countless examples that we can point to in the last 5 years of them being way too in your face with this type of stuff, regardless of what the messaging is. But Zootopia, maybe it's a little generous to call it a stroke of genius, but it is a stroke of genius in the sense that using the animal kingdom to get this across is a natural fit, and it feels like the theming evolved out of what the original idea was, what that original pitch was. Sure, a bunch of talking, cute-looking animals in a big city, that's something to get the idea across, but having these concepts of Zootopia and animals having to coexist, that's elevating from a natural point in the story that would be something you kind of ask. Would be something you kind of question yourself in, like, all right, we're creating a world where all these animals coexist. How are predator and prey going to interact? How are these, laws of nature going to interact? And that's exactly where I feel like the movie does hit a stride. How predator and prey coexist is at the core of the story, and moreover, how all these different walks of animal life tolerate each other is shown to be achievable in Zootopia. The utopia to Zootopia is overcoming these basic instincts, even when it relates to something as strong as nature. And I can't stress enough, I felt the exact same way when I watched this back in, we'll say 2017, just to be safe. But so much of this really comes through naturally and not forced at all in the script. I feel like that's where there is some serious weight behind the writing here. So,
yeah, I think it goes a long way. I think just the fact of trying to make it as smart and take it seriously as much as possible. Again, kids kind of want to be adults, and adults want to have a good time too.
Yeah.
So when you're not pandering and things like that, you can just kind of be real and try to get all those, I don't know, just the details down. You answer the questions, you throw in a little bit of that modern stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
It does. It just really makes it it puts it into a better tier film.
Absolutely.
100%. It doesn't feel like a throwaway.
And that's where I think
nothing in it feels like a throwaway.
Yeah, that's where I think our kind of criteria comes into play of just like, is this working for adults and kids? Well, that's already kind of putting it at a higher caliber.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a feeling. You feel it. When you start watching a
So
kid's
true.
movie, you do kind of know.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I will say, just to play devil's advocate a little bit with that, compare this to something like Inside Out. Inside Out has a message that I feel like it can be appreciated by adults as far as internal monologues and emotions and how to manage that stuff. That probably reaches the kids fully effective as well.
Well,
where this may be growing up with it takes a little bit of time to maybe appreciate some of those elements that's baked into it. But
because no matter what, I think Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde are the point of the film.
Exactly.
Right? With when you look at
a buddy cop duo with predator and prey.
When you look at Inside Out, it's almost like that messaging is the film.
Yeah, true.
Like, it's way heavier handed.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying for a bad reason, but like it is a point to the film.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And just the way they go down that and how personalized kind of it is.
Sure.
Because there's so much feelings and emotions involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which makes this that's why this is kind of a fun romp.
Exactly, because it still has the package of this buddy cop action that's, that it's thrown in.
Yeah.
So
love that it's an hour and 40. By the way, the hour and 48 minutes. Second one, hour and 48 minutes. Beautiful.
Interesting.
Even though the second one feels longer.
Now, is this first one, does that... I clocked an 11-minute credit sequence on this first one. Does that include that?
I do think the runtime includes credits.
Wow, okay, all right. So I think that's even shorter, that's closer to the punch.
Yes, because that's why I think all movies do include the credits.
Yeah.
Because it is part of the film. You have to.
Sure.
That's why I say when you look at the extended Lord of the Rings, right, you look at the extended Return of the King, it's 4 hours and 20 minutes. It is 20 minutes of credits. So it's only 4 hours, that's all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, overall, I would say that's kind of both sides of the coin, I feel like, on some of the intellectual side of this. Again, whether that permeates to an actual child audience is one thing. I think my praise at the end of the day, it's good world building. It's let's create a world of zoo animals in a city. What kind of conflict would come from that? It's questions in the writing process that would come about.
Yeah.
So
it was taking a little bit of the politics of the day in the film.
Yeah, true.
But it wasn't, like you said, if it was done in the past 5 years, you would be hearing my eyes roll in the theater. The damn glasses would be falling off my face.
For real.
With my eye rolls.
For real. But folks, like I said, that's kind of how I've always originally seen this movie, and this rewatch just made me appreciate how fleshed out that message is, but maybe even more so how digestible the movie packages that. Again, how entertaining it is within that. It's a sharp idea from concept to landing on the big screen, and it's a great watch for all ages because of how they focus the attention on the fun in this world without compromising the depth. We're going to go ahead and give Zootopia 2016. The old score was a 70. We're going to bump that to a 74.
A 74, okay.
Slight adjustment.
Yeah, slight adjustment, but that actually says something because I always say your animated films, a very good animated animated kids movie is a 72%. That's your base score.
Yeah.
So if it gets a 70, which is that, it's like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
72, it's like good movie. And 74, it's like, yeah, it's very good. It's a very good movie.
There's a shocking amount of 72s when it comes to kids movies
or somewhere around there. But I think I just love that marker for you. It is 74% is a good score for a kids movie. Yeah, I'm not going to give it a 2 shoes. So anyway, okay, so before we get into the film of the week, Zootopia 2, we want to remind people that Vin and I are going off the value for value model here. Basically, that means is we're not advertising supported here. We don't force people to buy into a paywall or a payment tier structure, kind of like a Patreon where we force you to pay a certain amount of money to get extra content. Everything that Vin and I do and have to offer, it's out there for everybody. But it's value for value. So are you finding it valuable? Meaning you're listening to the podcast once in a while or every week? Are you stopping by the website when you're trying to figure out if something's worth a watch or just trying to find something to watch? Well, we look at that as value in your pocket. So can you send us value back in our pocket? It's value for value. We are completely listener supported. We are producer supported. Because when you financially and monetarily support the show, you're an actual legitimate producer of the daily ratings because that's how they do it in Hollywood. When you financially support a project, you're producer of the project. So head to thedailyratings.com and go to the donations tab, and everything is laid out for you right there. So there's some set donations like buy Vin a movie ticket, become a Gump Club, become a Godfather, or something like that. But there's the big value for value button there. So you click on that. And everybody's on their own finances. Everybody's week to week is different, so you can peg whatever amount that you feel like you're getting. What does it mean to you that we exist? And you can just donate that in. When you do donate, when you become a producer, send in a producer note. So this could be questions, comments, critiques. Write into us with whatever you want to say or ask. You can email us at tom.vin@thedailyratings.com. That's our email. And then right here in this segment, the producer thanks segment, that's when we'll read it. We'll address it. So if you want to be anonymous, just say, hey, keep me anonymous, and you can still write something in. And it's a way to bring you into the conversation because, again, it's another way of producing.
Yeah, and we've had some really great, kind of springboard conversations to come from that, in the type of relationship that we have. So really, if you donate in at all, we want to hear from you, truly.
Yeah, we do. And it's going to grow and grow. That's why I love this segment. It's going to grow as we grow. So really, again, it could be as little as $5. It can be, $5,000. Seriously,
I always love your upper end that you throw out.
Because again, if you got $5,000 laying around, it's not a big deal. Don't give us $5.
Oil tycoon,
come on now. But anyway, that's the way we're doing here. So do you appreciate the fact that we're not doing advertising constantly and shoving those down your throat? Do you appreciate that we're not doing the Patreon where, we force you to give us $20 a month and then you get a specialty shows? Ooh. No, everything's here, but we are listener supported. So if you are enjoying it, if you could support us, it really means a lot, and it also goes very, very far for us. Again, it's thedailyratings.com. Head to the donations tab and become a producer for next week's episode 216. Okay, Vin, Zootopia 2. We pick things up with Nick, what is
Wilde?
His name? Nick Wilde. And Judy Hopps. I'm doing the best. Jason Bateman. And we should say the main actress, too, who does Judy Hopps is Jennifer Goodwin.
Yes.
Jennifer? No, Jennifer.
I think it's Jennifer.
Super smart. Because back in 2016, Bateman had a name.
Yeah.
He was in rom-coms and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But I don't think he's A-list guy pulling down the big bucks. And then Jennifer Goodwin, no one knows. It's just super smart. You have a hit when your actors aren't really the ones selling the tickets. That's how good your product is.
So true.
And then when you come back for Zootopia 2, maybe still you don't have to pay him as much as, what maybe other people would be asking for.
Whose side are you on, Tom?
They're great. I know. They work great. They work very good for their roles.
Try to save Bob a buck on the ship U-turn.
Anyway, we're back. Hopps and Wilde are back. Get us into it. Set up Zootopia 2. We'll take it back and forth.
Well, it's pretty much a guarantee at this point that any animated feature in the last decade that did mildly well gets a sequel now, and who knows, we might even get a live action version before.
Oh no,
that would finish blinking again. Looking at you, Moana. As popular and financially successful as the first movie was, though, and I really mean, it's in top 3 for Disney animations to the point of maybe even dethroning Pixar. I asked, did we really need a sequel for this? Did we really need it? Besides the two films sharing a talking animal premise, I really do feel exactly how I felt with Bad Guys 2 when we covered that not too long ago, where the original idea is fun, it's sharp, it's electric, and really any kind of sequel, regardless of what's done with it, is only going to kind of water that down. It's going to water that initial electricity to the concept down. But like we said many times on the show, there's a reason why we are not in Hollywood making these financial decisions. And it is because Zootopia 2 was predictably a smash hit.
Yeah,
over
don't include me in this one. I would no.
You would have greenlit Zootopia 2?
Yeah, I would have agreed with the execs on this one. I would have totally done it because I think there's a key element you're not.
I would have been cooked out with the other Bob. Me and Bob on the street.
There's a pivotal thing you're forgetting when it comes specifically to Zootopia, though. Buddy cops get another film, at least.
You get at least two.
I mean, Rush Hour, Lethal Weapon, 48 hours.
Men in Black.
Right. I mean, buddy cops, you need
I
more
love
than
that
one.
48 hours is somewhere in the comparison of Zootopia 2, where like Nick Nolte is like horribly racist in that movie.
But that's the thing. We have our two dynamic characters. Man. You get a second one. And if this goes well, you get a third one.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying, though. It's a dilution. It's watering it down. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it was.
But this, as far
again,
as
also, I mean, Zootopia being a Dynamite property, real estate, right time, right place, the placement of the weekend. You know, I mean, it's setting it up for success.
And the world is big enough where you can go. You can do more. It really is.
Okay. Well.
Anyway, okay. I'm just saying. When my exec hat is on, I would have. Yeah, I was right on this one.
We've been still on the board.
I still say put us in the board and do just the opposite of what we say. They'd make millions off us.
Yeah, for real. Zootopia 2 hits the ground running, though, coming off of the first, with a new buddy cop mystery for our duo to unfold. Now officially partners to crack a new case for the city. At the ZPD, our two newest partners, Judy and Nick, are still struggling to prove themselves, even after saving the entire city. Which is like, okay. I guess you gotta reset somewhere. Landing them on the wrong side of a conspiracy that unravels before their eyes. Mystery stirs in the city around plans to develop the weather walls that outline the climate burrows for animals to live in. But suspiciously, reptiles have been missing from this picture, forced underground after an incident. Pulling the strings for this plan are a powerful family of lynxes. Did I have a hard time Googling whether the plural of lynx is lynxes or just lynx?
Oh, what did you find?
I think it's lynxes, but Google AI, it's a real coin flip of whether it's giving you something new or not.
Lynx Eye? Could it be Lynx Eye?
Lynx Eye. These lynxes have supported Zootopia for as long as it's existed, but whose real intentions will be revealed by the dynamic duo of Hops and Wild. I would say while I was ready to sling my usual insult of sequelitis at this, and kind of already did, talking about the prospect of the sequel, I feel like this movie really kicks things off to a great start. Despite having to see the opening chase sequence twice, I thought this had some really, really fun action to keep it snappy, and way more action than the first one as well. I mean, if you really think to the first one, something like the train crashing scene where they're searching for the evidence, that would be an example of like, wow, that was like a big action sequence of the first. I feel like every action sequence is on that caliber for this second one. These more flashy action sequences, in a similar way, reminds me to what was done with the Incredibles sequel, having to evolve its action a lot more. And I would say for that reason, if you enjoyed the first movie, that alone might be reason enough to check this out. I don't know. What are your thoughts there? That
so I think
if you're in for the first, you're definitely in for the second.
I would say so, and I would say you're right that whenever there is an action bit, the action is hitting.
Yeah,
like they're definitely trying to go bigger with every single action set piece, or whatever.
Sure.
But I will say, in between those action moments, it was slower than I thought, and I think this movie got slower than slower than the first one ever did.
Bigger peaks, lower valleys.
Yeah, and that I was kind of struggling with because I like some theming ideas. They totally are going for James Bond vibes at elements in the movie, and then they're going for Indiana Jones at times, big time. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they quite got there. I was really digging it, but sometimes the slow could be slow.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. I think the formula is set when you come back for a film like this. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have our two main characters. We have to keep them going, give them a bigger story to chase, and then we have new supporting characters that hopefully can interest some people. Right? We need to add to the cast. We just have to. It's what you need to do.
Absolutely.
And they did that. And then what are all the window dressings that we can have on that? So adding some James Bond in, and doing this, definitely different climates, different temperatures, different locations.
Yeah, we get around the city a lot more, for one.
And that can really hit. It's just, again, for an hour and 48 minutes, it felt, in my mind, like a longer movie just because the more slow bits feeling more slow.
Yes.
That's my only thing.
Definitely agree there. I think a key to the high end of that, though, is the fact that we are in Zootopia from the very start. Again, that's the beginning of the first one was not slow by any means. We're pretty much right away we get into her being a cop and whatnot. But the opportunity of being in Zootopia from the very start just gives us
and knowing our characters.
Yeah, it just gives us the opportunity to get around the city and all the different habitats and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I feel like the jet set quality, maybe to how you're feeling like it's a little James Bondish. We do get around a lot more with it. I think that's worth it as well to find out more about the city and the world building of it. So now I will say the story doesn't fully escape some of my sequelitis critique, as it does feel like this new chapter for our Bunny and Fox kind of circles the drain a little bit on character development. We kind of take a step backwards of just like, okay, we got to have them have conflict again, even though, it was all sunshine and daisies up until that point.
It does help that they've only been a week. Like, when you finish the first one and come back to the second one, you think they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Apparently it takes place like 1 week. Like 1 week after the first one ends.
They haven't punched in at ZPD.
But you're right. You need to have something between the two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's where I feel like there is still, unfortunately, that element of it. But I still think the movie just has a lot of fun in seeing the day-to-day life of the buddy cop duo now, sprawling out over inventive action sequences, inventive set pieces and scenes and whatnot, and how they're crafting that in the animation. Where I do think this kind of lacks as a sequel is in the sincerity of its message a little bit. At least where the first had those themes kind of evolved directly out of the concept. Here, the expectation to have a social message kind of baked into the Zootopia property as a franchise now, I feel like it became a little bit of a burden for the movie, where nothing jumps out clearly or well demonstrated in the way that it was in the original. Instead, we get a very loose, muddy mix of ideas. Listen to your partner. There's a thread of social gentrification in the culture of the city. And most of all, a plot that does not really directly impact our main characters. I feel like that was an element that was just missing, of just like, obviously, Hops and Wild, they want to solve the case, they want to prove themselves, they want to continue as partners. There was nothing there to really real skin in the game of what's going to affect them, like the first one had.
Right, that's a great point.
So I feel like that's already just a little bit less sticky as a plot, or as a core beat to the story. I feel like the movie is also split down the middle. Half of it wanting to have fun and with the characters we love from the first, having more inventive set pieces, more inventive action sequences, and the other half is kind of trying to tell an expanded message, springboarding off the original. But honestly, I feel like if they wanted to land this expanded message, I feel like the solution is clear. Unfortunately, Bateman and playing Nick Wilde, I feel like that maybe had to be booted. Ke-Huy Quan plays a snake character in this, and obviously represents, kind of a single character of this, missing reptile piece of the Zootopia kingdom. I feel like there's a different reality where if they wanted to prioritize some of these messages or what they were trying to get across, that is the character that needed to be paired with Judy. That character needed to be slotted in a lot more, or at least a little bit earlier in the runtime. It feels like such a late addition, and we're just supposed to and he's part of the team. Like, I needed more building blocks with that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
but you gotta have the Fox in there.
Yeah, true.
You have to.
True. People would riot.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
That's Sly Fox.
Sounds like a shit movie. I mean, it's Hobbs and Wild. It's like the Hobbs and Shaw of the of that universe, whatever. The Fast and Furious universe.
Back out of the Fast and Furious connection.
But yeah, you're not wrong in there. Where that was kind of a weak. Kihei Khan's character was.
Just total throwaway.
Mm-hmm.
And
a little bit,
incorporated a little bit way too late for it to land any kind of significant messaging.
That's a good point,
this.
yeah.
So, but otherwise, I really did think this was still a pretty good movie. And I don't mind that its focus is more on like the raw entertainment returning to this world. Until we get a third movie, I think this will be kind of doomed to comparisons a little bit with the first, especially since the writing uses the exact same twist twice in a row. I mean, I really can't. I mean, like, this is like verbatim the exact the formula of how things are revealed at the very end. But it's worth checking out with the family if you haven't already contributed to its box office breaking records. We're going to go ahead and give Zootopia 2 a 69.
Okay, 69, super close. Okay. It's just not as strong as the first one.
Exactly. For me, it is still the sequel to something really good.
Yes, but I just think that we both agree how much worse this could have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, I enjoyed it as well. I think I watched the first one first, and then we went to go see this in theaters. Mm-hmm. By the end of the second one, I was a little done.
You were
with the characters
burnt out on the kids.
Yeah, exactly right. I saw enough. So the second one didn't reinvent the wheel in any way that had me. Now, again, maybe I would have felt the same way had I saw the original Puss in Boots and then watched Last Wish. But,
sure.
But watching Last Wish, both of us walked out, especially me. I was just like, "Whoa, jeez,
Yeah.
I don't know, Kate Diamond there. I can't believe I'm saying it."
You're the only one that's ever surprised by these things because you're like so disconnected with any kind of
1,000%. So, so 69 for Zootopia 2. I think we've got a good back-to-back. I think it totally... You're right. If you watch the first one, you're probably in for the second one.
Yeah.
And there's no problem there.
Exactly. That was really kind of where it boiled down to, almost in the sense of like, I'm not going to get myself worked up over things that maybe I see as like weaker in the film, because there is a reality of like, if you really adore that first one, you're going to be
getting
for
more.
this one.
You're getting
exactly.
More. So, okay. All right, man. Well, this has been fun. I'm glad that we covered these this week, actually. Yeah. And I'm actually glad I watched them. And in a huge who's who of supporting characters, by the way. Most characters are quite small,
yes,
and only have so many lines. But even this is probably one of the better things Idris Elba has done in the past 15 years.
15? That's heavy.
Okay, well, you go. Easy. You tell. Okay, go.
No, I'm not.
Okay, that's exactly right. That's what I thought.
No, you did not win this.
We'll say 10 years. How about that? Okay. But all right, it was a good time. Obviously, everything's on Disney Plus if you want to give it a watch. Any other notes? Anything for next week, coming weeks, roll credits? What do you want to do here, V?
Well, next week, oh man, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. What is there to say? I mean, I'll probably have to revisit my own review for the first one, just to brush up on the Freddy Fazbear lore and everything they're pulling out of their ass. But we are going to be covering that. We're also going to be covering Jay Kelly on Netflix, which is, of course, our kind of... I don't know. Is that getting any kind of awards buzz?
It's teetering right now. It's teetering. We have to kind of wait to see what people really think about it, because... It isn't, because Noah Baumbach wrote it.
Yeah, that's where I would kind of point to.
We're not getting a Marriage Story, so we're not going to have anything hit like that. But I think we're going to get something that people like a lot more than White Noise. But a big thing for this, I think Hollywood is going to eat this up, because it's kind of about Hollywood.
Yeah, it's a showbiz drama.
And they always love that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you got George Clooney in there. Adam Sandler plays his agent. I'm somewhat excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're covering that, and then third is maybe a little bit up in the air if everything works out to like perfectly, I could probably try to see No Other Choice when it is slightly released.
Park Chan-wook's
yes.
Korean director.
Yep, getting a lot of buzz. It's having a soft release on the 8th, so we'll see if we can squeeze that in. If not, I'm sure we'll round out the week somehow other way then.
Okay.
So.
All right, Vin. Well, as always, Vin, thanks for watching the film, stopping by here, and reviewing these films for us. And folks at home, we'll just run this down one more time. So we've got the OG Zootopia with a 74% and Zootopia 2 with a 69%. Always a blast hanging out with you week after week, folks. We'll be back for the new show on Tuesday morning, and we'll have Vincent Daly back in the chair next Thursday right here on the Daily Ratings Podcast. And hey, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you would, give us a good rating or get the word out and tell a friend about us. And just a reminder that the Daily Ratings is completely producer supported. We want to stay away from advertising, and we don't want to have any paywalls or tier structures or subscriptions. It's all just value for value. So, are you finding value in what we're doing here at the Daily Ratings? Then become a producer and donate whatever amount of value that is. Just go to the donations tab on thedailyratings.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out the massive amount of films that Vince has rated. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Daily Ratings Podcast.